Elizabeth Short, known as the Black Dahlia, was found murdered in Los Angeles on January 15, 1947. Her case remains one of the most notorious unsolved crimes in American history. The bisected body of a young woman was discovered in a vacant lot early that morning by a local resident walking to work. Authorities quickly identified the deceased as 22-year-old Elizabeth Short from Massachusetts, who had recently arrived in California. The coroner determined Short had been beaten and suffered fatal head trauma before the body was drained of blood and severed. The body was arranged with arms raised above the head and the torso cleanly cut in half at the waist. Reporters gave Short the nickname Black Dahlia after her dark clothing and the resemblance to the film The Blue Dahlia. Elizabeth Short left her family home seeking acting opportunities and worked briefly as a waitress in Los Angeles. Witnesses reported seeing Short at a downtown hotel and later at a bar on the night she disappeared. Detectives interviewed hundreds of men, including soldiers and doctors, but no charges were ever filed. Despite extensive investigation, the identity of the killer has never been established and the file stays open. Before her death, Elizabeth Short corresponded with several servicemen she met during the war years. Her mother received the devastating news by telephone from Los Angeles police the day after the discovery. The medical examiner noted the bisection showed surgical skill, suggesting the perpetrator had anatomical knowledge. Newspapers across the country carried daily updates, turning the case into a national sensation overnight. Investigators considered jealousy, mental illness, and ritual elements, but no single theory was proven. After the inquest, her remains were returned home and interred in a family plot in Medford. Several taunting notes claiming responsibility arrived at the Los Angeles Police Department in following weeks. Detectives examined whether Short had been involved with anyone in the film industry before her death. Officers gathered clothing, personal items, and soil samples, yet none yielded a conclusive lead. Modern researchers continue to review the original reports, searching for overlooked clues. The unsolved murder continues to inspire books, documentaries, and public interest decades later. Like many young women of her era, Elizabeth Short hoped to become an actress in the growing film capital. Federal agents assisted local police by checking fingerprints and background records nationwide. Several people reported seeing Short with different men on the evening she vanished. Hundreds of curious residents visited the site before authorities secured the area completely. Friends recalled her preference for black clothing, which contributed to the media nickname. Although dozens of men were detained for questioning, none were formally charged with the crime. Medical records showed she suffered from asthma and had undergone minor surgery years earlier. Artists produced drawings of possible suspects based on eyewitness accounts from the area. Decades later, portions of the investigative records became available for historical review. The case symbolizes both the glamour and darkness of post-war Los Angeles. During World War II, she performed in military entertainment programs before moving west. Every promising lead eventually failed to produce the evidence needed for prosecution. Local businesses and citizens posted cash rewards for information leading to an arrest. She was linked to several servicemen, but no relationship appeared to explain her death. The medical report detailed extensive injuries inflicted before and after death. Tabloids and national papers kept the story alive with new theories for months. Her relatives cooperated fully with investigators, hoping for a resolution. Detectives pursued leads across several states without reaching a conclusion. Authors and filmmakers have revisited the facts, creating numerous dramatizations. True crime enthusiasts and historians mark the anniversary of her death each January. The Los Angeles Police Department has never officially closed the investigation. She spent time in the border city shortly before returning to Los Angeles for the final time. Amateur sleuths proposed new candidates, but none have been verified by authorities. She held short-term jobs in restaurants while seeking entertainment industry contacts. A woman taking a shortcut through the lot noticed the remains and alerted police. Background checks revealed she had never been arrested or involved in illegal activity. The investigation introduced some early forensic techniques still used today. Acquaintances remembered her as quiet and reserved despite her striking appearance. Reporters explored every angle, including possible links to organized crime. The final confirmed sighting placed her leaving a downtown Los Angeles location. Over 100 officers worked on aspects of the case at its peak. Police protected the relatives from aggressive media attention during the inquiry. Portions of the original documents were later scanned for public archives. She received attention from numerous men during her time in California. The instrument used in the crime was never located, despite extensive searches. The nickname became permanently associated with the victim in public memory. She had discussed traveling back to Massachusetts in the weeks before her death. Numerous tips proved unfounded and diverted resources from genuine lines of inquiry. Her dental features were noted in descriptions circulated by investigators. Some observers questioned whether the police pursued all available leads thoroughly. Her grave remains in the same cemetery as several relatives in Massachusetts. Cold case units periodically re-examine evidence with updated forensic tools. She appeared in a few uncredited film roles before focusing on other jobs. Each new book or documentary reignites discussion of the unsolved murder. She maintained regular contact with her sisters throughout her travels. Dozens of potential suspects were eliminated through alibis and evidence checks. Those who met her recalled her courteous and well-mannered demeanor. Without modern DNA analysis, early detectives relied on traditional methods alone. The murder remains a defining symbol of unsolved crime in Los Angeles history. She spent several months in the state before continuing west to California. Surgeons and medical students were questioned due to the precise nature of the wounds. Investigators examined her personal writings for possible clues to her final days. Wire services carried updates to newspapers across the entire country. Relatives endured intense questioning and media pressure during the inquiry. Physical items from the scene have been preserved in department storage. Her story continues to represent the dangers faced by young women in that era. Several self-proclaimed clairvoyants offered unsolicited theories to police. Friends stated she had no known conflicts that could explain the attack. Supervisors still assign occasional review of the Black Dahlia file. Her funeral was attended by close family members only. Various media productions have used the name under licensed agreements. She often relied on friends for temporary housing during her travels. City officials demanded progress on the high-profile investigation. Her striking appearance was frequently mentioned in contemporary descriptions. The Los Angeles Police Department continues to classify the case as active. She posed for a few amateur photographers seeking portfolio experience. Later investigators applied new techniques to original evidence samples. Relatives maintained her personal effects for historical preservation. New generations discovered the case through books and online archives. Her modest possessions were distributed according to state law. Dedicated detectives still review unsolved homicides from that period. Documentaries air annually around the anniversary of her death. International researchers have examined copies of the original files. Services were held quietly without public spectacle. Lack of physical evidence hampered efforts from the earliest days. The identity of the person responsible has never been determined. Descendants continue to hope for answers in the historic case. Academics analyze the social context of post-war Los Angeles crime. She aspired to a career in motion pictures like many contemporaries.